I'm Tommy, and you were on the boat. What's happening? We have Randy Knight. Well, thank you. What a kind thing to say. Snoopy fan, Pensacola, Florida. See, someone gets the game. Say where you're from. Helps everybody get a chance to know you. Big old family here. Taylor Miller, good to see you. Sandy Wendy, what's happening? I hate, and I mean hate with a capital H, going live while my girlfriend, oh, geez. How about that? My wife. Yeah, I never lived that down. While my wife is live. But this is breaking news, people, man. This is huge breaking news. It is interesting, and it's going to bring up some interesting conversations. Big Chill, how are you? Lena Gray, good to see you. Monk. Edward, Knoxville, Tennessee. Good fellow girl. Love that name. Zero Fox. Good to see you, Zero Fox. I'm a fan. Hope you're doing well. I hope you feel great. Salt Lake City in the house. Why, thank you, Diane. I used to live at 7612 South, 2700 East, or 3700 East.
You stop that right now.
7612 South, 2700 East.
What did I tell you?
Yankee Kyle, what's happening? Auntie KK, Renee B, good to have you here. All right, people, I won't bury the lead too much. Let's get this thing rolling because this is, I guess, what we've been waiting for, right? We would have liked to have had mom home, right? But we had a conversation. Arizona, Loretta, good to have you here. We had a conversation earlier about whether or not you would pay, right? And I said, if you couldn't prove to me that my mother was alive, then there's no chance I would give you the money, right? That's how it works in kidnapping. Proof of life. Your job is to make sure, it's not a good look. I mean, it makes me look like an ass for saying it. Woodman, what's up? Jeff, good to see you. Tommy Word is here. Just so everyone knows, I'm not that Tommy, although I definitely find it humorous when people think I'm a Scoville. Yeah, he's got a very similar sense of humor, though, and he's been around almost as long. We received your message, and we understand, said Savannah Guthrie. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay. That is exactly what Savannah Guthrie said on her show. I'm going to repeat that because most of you are going, what the hell did he just say? So let's back it up and say, Savannah Guthrie, they start filming. Her hands are crossed like this. She's holding a hand on either side with her brother and her sister. We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us and we will pay. Now, I don't think I need to really church this up for most people to realize that no one talks like this, right?
It was weird.
It's very weird. We beg you to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. Maybe a little odd. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us. We will pay. So this is usually what happens in these things, right? Because there's numerous jackwagons, and I forgot to put this guy up a little earlier. So let's do this. Because this is the nice fellow from California, right? I love the outfit, Johnny Scoville. Kind of looks like he's wearing leopard spots on his coat. He's got that hanging earring, which I don't care. You know what I mean? It's your style, whatever. Yeah, Johnny has one of those. But it does look like it's a safety pin, does it not?
It do.
I'm trying to remember this cat's name. Do you remember? Hold on and I'll find it.
Derek.
It was Derek.
Derek.
Callejo.
Yeah.
This is the guy that is never going to get laid again as long as he lives. Can you imagine being the dude that put that up? It's a diaper pin. You know what? Johnny Scoville said that and I disagreed with him. And now I feel stupid. You're right. It's a diaper pin. A Wolverine wannabe. You know what? Imagine that. That's a hell of a comment. Honest to God, I don't think I noticed the whole, that's the haircut you were talking about, Johnny Scoville. He's trying to look like Wolverine. Derek. Man, you are never going to get another woman as long as you live. What woman wants to be with the guy? Well, I mean, maybe inside. Maybe inside. Karen Stone, MD, I think they are playing a game with these messages between suspect and FBI. Well, that's logical, Doc. Honest to God, I mean, that's logical. But let's look at this from the logical standpoint. There's a couple of options here. One of the options is that they were provided proof of life and they're ready to pay, right? One of the other options is that they're playing a game, and I think that Kara's probably spot on with this. He's back. How was the beach? It was great, Snitch Hunt. I was not at the beach for more than about 8 minutes. I walked down there and realized that there are tourists at the beach right now. So I went down there and then walked back kind of arrogant like, like I'm a local. Haven't been here very long, but I am a local. So do me a favor, smack that like button on the way in, people. It absolutely helps. It really does.
2.1 billion people here.
Yeah, if you ever saw any of the videos that I did on New Year's from here, just real briefly, there were 2 million people on the 2.1 million people on the peninsula that night. Where's Kash Patel? Why isn't that so-called tough shit? Tyler Robinson further proof these dummies have no clue who took Nancy. I would not put any money on that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, beach girl. I'm really not. You can have the Kash Patel thing. I don't much care. But I would imagine that all of the resources that are being brought to bear are coming through the FBI. With all due respect to the local Barney Fife sheriff down there, I don't think that dude could find his way out of a closet, much less figure out. This is not his brand of crime. I've seen some interviews with him. There was one today that was fascinating. He was standing in front of the police building, and a bunch of paparazzi and press popped up to ask him a question. One of the questions was, is the FBI completely taken over on this? And he started to answer, and he said, look, we trust the FBI. We brought him in, and a big black FBI agent came and put his hand on him, and we're done, and pushed him away from the press. He shoots his mouth off. He says things that he shouldn't say, and he only allowed 1 bullet in his gun. So this woman loses her mom, but has supported defund the police. That's why they can't find her. It's because of all of the lefty coverage. I don't know. I don't know that the politics thing matters at this point. Just my humble opinion. And Savannah might be into one thing and her mother might be into another. It doesn't really jive that the mother would be anywhere near woke or left wing or anything along those lines. And Savannah wrote a children's book that was very, very God-centered. I'm not sure that that's 100%. I know that in that line of work, everybody sort of has to look like they're leaning in one direction or you're out of business, because 9 out of 10 people in the press lean left, right? And that's nothing political. It's just the truth. I still think she's alive until Monday afternoon, unless ransom is paid sooner. Jeff, it looks like it's going to be paid, unless we think she's bluffing, and she might be. But I have a feeling. Do me a favor, smack that like button and hit the subscribe button. These things actually help. Miss Weedy Poo, good to see you. It really does help. Surely they've done the polygraphs on the family. You would think so, wouldn't you? Huh? You would think so, wouldn't you? But I don't think they have. I really don't. Unless they're keeping it that tight to their jacket. But let's be honest. They started going door to door, checking with all of the neighbors, or announced it on day 6. Are you woofing me? I mean, how are you not doing that 4 hours after you find out she's missing? Because at 30 hours, you gave up the hunt. I mean, let's keep it real. At 30 hours, they called all of the people that were searching for her off the search. And then they released the property back to the family. And they didn't just release it back to the family. They released it to anybody with a YouTube channel that has a camera. I mean, I'm sorry, but they were traipsing through that. Why is there such a huge media presence outside her house now? Because this is the Super Bowl of true crime, right? This is when people go missing. You guys remember the Kohberger case, right? The true crime arena was going nuts during Brian Kohberger. They were going completely nuts. And every time there's a case like that, a bunch of people that didn't follow true crime in any way start to find the true crime. A bunch of people come across it and go, holy crap. Hey, Pat. I got to do this really quick. I think she's alive too. Cost me nothing to, Well, Pat left a comment on one of my last videos about Nick Reiner. I think it was the last Nick Reiner video I did. You should pop on and read that. Honest to goodness. You want to talk about a really sharp, well thought out comment? Kind of makes me hate him. Or her, I'm sorry. Seems like something happens every 20 hours. Boy, it does, doesn't it? And for the people that think, this is a FF, can't say that. Oh, I'm 10 minutes in. False flag event. Screw it. We're not going to get anywhere anyway. The false flag event thing, the reason that it gains traction is because this just seems beautifully orchestrated, doesn't it? I mean, every time you were just about going, all right, I can do one of the other shows I got going, boom. I mean, I have Savannah Guthrie, her Instagram, which is where they posted this. I've got it on refresh. Like every 2 minutes, I'm just refreshing it. And when it first popped up, it's about 30 or 40 minutes ago. At first, I just sort of sat there with my mouth gaped open. Bye, you babe. Good to see you. But the way they're talking, one of the things they said is, we got your letter, right? We got your letter. I think that the stuff that we are not hearing in these letters, they may have said, I hate to sound like a criminal, but if these people are trying to not meet them, if they're doing everything they can to not have any correspondence with them, and it looks that way, right? How did they reach out to him? They reached out to him by going to 3 different news channels, and they're using the software program where you can go and bitch about somebody. It's like how you put in a complaint at AT&T. It's literally that kind of thing. They went there and entered a fake name and a fake birthday and all that and said, here's what I wanted to say about KLOL, and put the entire message in that way. KOLD, sorry. But if they're trying to not get in any communication, then I would imagine they said something like, look, maybe you didn't listen. We're going to kill your mother if that money isn't on there, right? We're not going to be communicating with you. That could be the case. One of the other options, too, is that they have talked to the people at the Cyber Crimes Division over at the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the people at the National Security Agency who said, send them the money, right? We'll track it right to the people, and at least we can go backwards from there. If they're not the kidnappers, they're still going to get hemmed up, like our friend Derek. Yeah. Are we counting allegedlys now? Well, we probably ought to be. You should have heard us during Diddy. You think there's a lot of allegedlys now? Good Lord in heaven. Yeah, could this just be a psyop? I've never seen a psyop that created one victim, right? I mean, I'm not going to go on the top 10 psyop list of things that, but I'll pick one right off the top of my head. I think that all of the aliens that we saw off in New Jersey and everything else about a year ago, remember all the UFOs and all of those things that were getting spotted? That to me smelled like a psyop, right? And tons of people were involved, because now you got people, this is one person, one family you decided to victimize. And I'll tell you what, Savannah Guthrie sure as shit isn't in on it, right? I mean, did you watch that first video they shot? That emotion is raw, man. I don't even have a heart, and that hurt me. Like, I was seriously sitting there thinking, this sucks. I kind of felt like Ann from Mass does, right? I feel for the family. If they pay Nancy and Nancy's alive, beyond fabulous. If they pay and she's not, it's devastating. If they don't pay and she was alive, it would destroy Savannah and the family. Tough choices. It's a ridiculously, it's like Sophie's Choice, right? There ain't a good answer to this. There really isn't. However, you got $40 million. Allegedly, she's worth about $40 million. So if that's the case, she's sitting there going, from $2 million from my mother, or $10 million, or whatever the dollar amount is. But I have a feeling there were 2 dates, and we're all going, why would there be 2 dates? Maybe they thought it would take a little while for her to acquire that many Bitcoin, because you'd have to get entire coins. Bitcoin was really down too. That would really help them if they really bought that many coins at once. Yeah, it's in the toilet right now. It's 70,000, I think, per coin the last time I looked at it. But this first deadline, the one on Thursday, that Thursday deadline could have been, all right, if you don't pay by then, there had to be something. If you don't pay by that day, we're just going to wait till the next one. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe that upped the amount of money they were going to be spending. Sad, it's ultimately the family's choice alone. My man is absolutely spot on. The FBI historically will advise people. They'll help them write scripts. They'll help them set up a camera. They'll talk about how the handoffs are done. They will ask permission to be involved in watching. But the decision of whether or not to pay off for a person's life will always come down to the family. And it is the most god-awful decision you can imagine, especially if there was no signs of life. Now, no proof of life. We have been talking about whether or not they would have had drugs for this woman. And I talked about pharmacies. I talked about all of these things. I hope, and I didn't come up with this. Man, I wish I had come up with this, because it was just an absolutely stellar comment. I believe it might have been from a person named Five. And when they're this good, sorry, but you got to kind of give the people credit. Let me see, who was this? But anyway, what they said was, my understanding is that you can get drugs in Mexico without a prescription. They're an hour from the border, man. If they needed to get drugs for this woman, they could walk into any pharmacy in Mexico, like you could do in Ecuador, and just buy any drug you want over the counter. The exception to that here would be anything narcotic. They're not going to sell you Valium. They're not going to sell you painkillers. They're not going to do any of that. In Mexico, there are no holds barred. Used to spend a lot of time when I was really young in my late teens and early 20s. I used to go down to Mexico almost every weekend to pick up narcotics, right? And just walk into a pharmacy. They would write you a prescription at the pharmacy, and you could fill it across the street. It wasn't a great time to be alive. That was when Rohypnol and all those other terrible drugs were kicking. It was a dangerous time. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. But that was a really astute comment, and I kind of wish that I had thought about it, because this most assuredly is a way that they could have got those drugs, right? They could have got those drugs for mom without hurting anybody and without having to throw their ass in the sling, right? I mean, to be perfectly honest, that makes more sense than any other way that I've come up with. I feel just as myself. How much would you want it if it were me? I'll pay or I'll do whatever you have to. I won. Yeah. I have made a trip or two in my day, says Bayou Babe. I'm sure there are other people that have. Oh, I did that in Tijuana, says Vegas Bomb. See, you guys are all, man. What an audience, man. That's why you're all into true crime. You're all criminals. So are they planning to pay without proof of life? We don't know, Fresh Air. And that's the question, right? Joan Marie, good to see you. That's the question. Are they planning to pay without proof of life? Because as of now, all we know is that there has been no proof of life. And if you cannot, just because the abductor has proof that they were the ones that did it, it doesn't mean she's still alive. You're right. Sadly, it is. Right? Joan Marie says, and that's the truth, right? And if we don't have proof of life, then you got to assume she's dead.
It was just an awkward statement, man. It really was.
Say it again.
It was an awkward statement. The phrasing, the way that she was sitting, everything about it was just weird.
If you're worth $40 million, wouldn't you pay for the camera subscription so that you could? Yeah, I mean, there's something to that, right? The daughter would pay, but I'm not sure we're not being lied to about that. They've changed their story on everything else. Sue Nelson, good to see you. They changed their story on everything else, right? The mom was dropped off after playing Mahjong by the daughter. No, she was dropped off by the son-in-law. Well, we're not going to tell you. There was a forced entry. I never said there was a forced entry. Who said there was a forced entry? They've been doing this shit since day one. Her mom didn't show up at church, so people freaked out and called the family. But mom hasn't gone to church since COVID, right? Nothing about this makes sense. The new theory is the kidnapping of Nancy is a hoax. It's a shit theory. With all due respect, it's a shit theory.
Stop going to places that say that.
Yeah, stop hanging out at places that say that. It's patently absurd. Look, every time, if you're going to do a psyop or if you're going to do some kind of a false flag situation, the less chance you got, the less chance you got of getting caught, the better. So you're not going to bring a bunch of people in. This is a large operation. It would be so much easier if you're looking for a psyop to get some cool little drones and start flying over beach towns again, because it worked like a mother last time and nobody gets hurt. Why target a very famous woman in the media? It just doesn't pass the smell test, people, right? This is either a money grab or it's something that went wrong and there are people hustling. However, allegedly, those ransom notes have details that nobody that wasn't there that night would know. Jeff says 2 or 3 people, I'm guessing. I gotta agree with Jeff on this one. Do you think paying the ransom could be a way for the FBI to trick and catch these horrible kidnappers? I do. I think that one of the soft underbellies of their entire plan is this whole can't catch me on Bitcoin, right? That one doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If this is just a hoax, then no one's going to get arrested. This woman's going to come back, right? She isn't going to be injured. Have you seen pictures of mom? I'm not being a dickhead, right? But mom is not a young woman. Nancy is 84 years old. And although they say she's sharp as a tack, right? She can't walk more than about 150 feet. And one of our great guests here, Renee, said they would do a stress test on the heart very often, especially after a pacemaker or something. And they would literally see at what point, she starts huffing and puffing. So that's probably where they came up with that number. Nevertheless, her skin, she looks like my dad did, right? When you're on that many blood thinners, there's bruises all over the place. The scrapes turn into scars. She just looks banged up. She's got Band-Aids on. Taking care of an 84-year-old woman for a phony psychop? Why the hell put yourself through that, right? And you would have to assume that, she's in on it or she's not. So you're going to kidnap someone, beat the piss out of them, scare the hell out of everybody, risk all of those cameras, all of those people, somebody tying this back to MAGA. Good God. And what is MAGA? Is that a political party? Honestly, because I don't, you mean wackos in the government who think Trump is God? I'm not sure what that means. However, I really don't believe that it has a shitload to do with what's going on here. And if you find a Democrat or a Republican behind every door, then it might be an ideological thing. And I'm not saying that you do, right? You're saying that people are thinking that. That's because there are people out there on planet Earth right now that see MAGA as the problem for every single thing they have, including the shits. If they use the mom's voice for proof of life, it's as easily AI cloning a voice is easy. They did it a lot after the death of Charlie Kirk. You don't have to tell me. I have been spoofed. My voice has been used for that type of operation in the past. Hate to say this out loud, but I thought she was deceased days ago. Auntie KK, that doesn't make you a bad person. I'm sorry, but it kind of makes you a critical thinker. That doesn't mean that the people that think she's alive aren't critical thinking. But if you've taken the time to go through this in your head and go, this is kind of what I believe, it makes sense to me. I think she was deceased days ago. So sad that without that needed information, the family is just being tortured. There is an evil in this world that is beyond comprehension. And, it's hard sometimes for us to sit here and go, no one would do that. Hey, Christian East, good to see you. Who would do that kind of crap, right? Somebody that's just going to prey on someone during the worst time of their life. Hey, it's Derek, right? Derek's your boy. And he absolutely did this for no other reason than to profit, right? He was willing to call up a family and say, hey, I'm going to kill your mom if you don't send the money to this address. Those other kidnappers, they're the fake ones. I'm the real one. Derek, you're a scumbag. You were right, by the way. They said that's a diaper pin in the guy's ear. When Johnny Scoville said that was a diaper pin, I mocked him. Libs say the same thing about Rob Reiner. Absolutely the truth, right? The libs say the same thing about Rob Reiner. Don't blame the murderers, blame the nameless, the faceless, the Republicans, right? Or the Dems for that matter. You know how many people are going like this? Because the former president, Bill Clinton, they got pictures of Bill Clinton with little kids. That's not something to celebrate, right? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make your side better than anybody else's side. They're all scumbags. Right wing, left wing, same bird. I don't think this is a sophisticated operation. They are not tech savvy. Don't know emails and Bitcoins can be traced. Yeah, Patch, here's the one thing I would say about that. The emails that they sent weren't emails, right? So they were using programs, and there's a bunch of programs that you can get. First, you start with a VPN, a virtual private network, right, which is going to insulate you a little. And then you get these things that literally scramble your email address. If you send things from, and I shouldn't crime this up, but if you know how to work the Onion router, right, the Tor software, then you can scramble your IP address and make it hard. The FBI is going to find out, right, but it might take a hot minute. But they weren't emailing per se. They were going to, like KOLD, like every other customer service website, has a place where you can put a complaint or say, that Tommy Scoville's freaking awesome. You ought to give that guy a raise, right? Anything you want to put like that, all you have to do is enter your birth date, your name, right? And they make a list out of it. Most people use their real stuff, but you don't have to. You can do it anonymously. They went in there and opened one of those portals and put the entire email in that. That does make it a lot more difficult because these are supposed to be completely anonymous so that if somebody wants to be a whistleblower and call the local news, they can protect their source. It does kind of leave a hole though, right? Now, I'm not saying they're sophisticated, right? But they didn't have a problem stealing her. They got her out of that house at 2:00 in the morning successfully. Nobody caught them in the act of doing that. The only thing left to do, right? This is a business. Everybody, I already got hate comments for this, but this is a business. If you're a kidnapper, it's a job, and your job works a very specific way, right? Yeah, technically not a home invasion. The Cheshire family murders was a home invasion at night. Yeah, that was a bank robber with a really, really bad plan. And there's been about 6 of those. And they're usually desperate drug addicts. I was convicted for a crap load of bank robberies. And I wasn't doing it so that I could drive a Ferrari like they do in Fast and Furious, right? I was doing it because I had a $700 a day habit I needed to put in my arm. Have you heard anything more about the son-in-law? Apparently, in Band 1 member had a history. His son-in-law had been cleared. I have not heard anything that I can bring to you. There's a crap load out there about this. But when you start trying to chase it down and get to something that you can actually go, hey, man, this is real. Look at their faces and body language. Subdued, not celebrating, not smiling, sad. Return our mother so that we may celebrate her life. Yeah, the only way that we can feel peace. Words used at a funeral. Suze. Holy shit. You catch that, Johnny Scobo? I don't know. That seems pretty sharp to me. Not for nothing. Let's read this again. Because I'm not going to lie to you. It does sound more like that, doesn't it? We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. Yeah, I guess you celebrated a funeral. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us and we will pay. Now, again, though, Suze, I think that actually does sound like something somebody would say at a funeral. And there was definitely no celebration about them. But even if there's proof of life and they're happy as shit about this, the fear is going to take over all of that, right? The fear will take over all that, in my opinion. I don't think that there's going to be any sign of relief because, I mean, look, let's be really honest. If you're going to die in a kidnapping, this is usually about the time you get whacked, right? When comes time to exchange the money and then get the person back, there have been many a kidnapper that decided to crab and try to get out of Dodge without having to hand the person over, because if you hand the person over, you're done. Correct. This is absolutely important. I realize that people think that no matter what you do, you're going to be able to get away with Bitcoin. Sam Bankman-Fried thought the exact same thing. And where that dude sent money, they tracked down all of it, right? All of it. The problem becomes, like, I could put something in an anonymous wallet, and they can watch that anonymous wallet till the end of time. If you were organized enough to have 400 people that you broke all the millions up into, and they immediately went out and started trying to turn that into currency. But when you turn it into currency, there is a point at which you're going to have to produce some identification. The fact that they say messages, not letter at the beginning, is interesting. I really perked up on the celebration part because celebration of life seems to be what they're hinting towards. Interesting. I mean, here's the thing. I'm telling you, people, and I'm not saying this to be tough or cavalier or anything else. I wouldn't want anybody paying for me at 84. I wouldn't want anybody paying for me at 55. For real. Maybe I'm just more at ease with where I'm going when I'm done, but I wouldn't want any of my family stressing out over that, especially if they didn't show proof of life. But yeah, praying and hoping. I think that Cape Cod nailed it. The celebration of life is a customary term used at funerals. It really is, right? It absolutely is. In fact, my dad didn't have a funeral. They called it a celebration of life. So interesting. Now, once again, though, very often, because of all the jackwagons like our friend Derek who sent out fake ransom demands. We know of one of them because the person's been arrested. I promise you there's more than one of them, right? And we will probably find out about them. But because there are that many out there, very often the kidnapper will say, when you make your speech, use this phrase, so I know you're talking to me. Right? They send a letter to the family. For all they know that the videos are being done, how do we know you're not talking to some other person you're about to wire the money to? I'm the one with your mom. So say this in your response to us.
They also didn't say that your email or your correspondence. They said that, which is interesting.
It is interesting. Now, here's the thing. Email, letter, note, all of these things kind of become ubiquitous, but it is interesting, isn't it? Yeah, this is just Joan. I started off by saying I hate being live at the same time as my wife. It bums me the hell out, right? Just seems counterproductive. But this is a breaking story. Having Nancy's body back so that they can bury her and have closure would be a very valuable thing to the family. You're right. You're right. Do me a favor. Put a 3 in the chat if you think this is about trying to get the body back, right? I tell you why this is a stretch for me. I should let everybody vote first. Hope Nancy knows how many people are praying for her. Adorable Anarchy, I'd almost be willing to bet the farm that if she's still with us, she knows there are a lot of people that are praying for her. And a lot of people think they may be trying to get the body back. Here's my question. Why? If you're the kidnapper and she's dead, Would you send the message and say, hey, your mom's dead? Where's the benefit in that? You follow me? Where's the benefit to they're just being really stand-up cats. They accidentally killed her and they want the family to know that, she's dead. I'll sell you her dead body back. I don't know if that passes the smell test, peeps. At that point, I think you're just selling a dead body on the risk that you're going to get caught. Full ransom for her dead, though, even if it were 400 grand, you got to put it onto Bitcoin, right? And risk going and getting that off Bitcoin. But they said they would pay, Snitch Hunt says. They did, but we don't know what they're paying for. It's a very unusually worded letter. That doesn't mean anything. But, hey, and there are people that come on and go, you guys shouldn't be speculating like this. I imagine you're new to true crime, right? You realize that true crime is just people getting together and speculating about a crime until we figure out exactly what happened. And then we do a post-mortem and dissect it and go on to the next one. That's what true crime is. Get the memo. Adorable Anarchy. That is the best freaking name I've ever known in my life. Yes, anarchy is the only way to be a person or has a political leaning in this country. I'm a boo the state. I'm with you. I'm not a fan of anybody. Both parties in the United States kind of make me sick, which is why I don't live in the United States. Because the family would still want her back to celebrate her life. Savannah said they wouldn't stop until they got her back. I understand. I'm not saying the family wouldn't want her back. I'm saying, why the hell would the kidnappers risk that? I mean, now it's murder. If she's dead, they're murderers. If I'm that criminal, I'm just keeping it real. This is why people watch, right? I'm a retired criminal. If I'm that criminal, ain't no way in hell I'm sending a message saying I killed your mom. For real. It's like I tell you what, that ransom I was going to give you, what's that movie with Mel Gibson? That ransom, I'm not giving it to you. I'm going to pay it to the people that find you. Dead or alive, I'm paying that ransom to the people that hunt you down and kill you for what you did to my mother. If somebody sent me a letter and said that, your mom's dead, no, trust and believe, that would be me. I'd be like, you know what? But my particular beliefs, it's a body. It's like an empty can of beer, right? If there's nothing in it, no more orange juice. It's just a carton. That's my humble opinion, but Patch, what a kind thing to say. I really appreciate that. You see that, people? See that? They're out there. Do me a favor. If you've never hit subscribe here, please do it. You know, about 130 people did that earlier. Johnny Scoville.
I heard that.
130 subscribers off of the last video. That's good stuff.
I thought it was just rumor.
That's a rumor, but it's a good rumor. Hey, Eva Marie, good to see you. Lisa Trimble says, what happens if mom is found dead after the ransom is paid?
Good question.
We will have a story, and then they will hunt down the people that killed her. Trust and believe they're going to hunt down the people that killed her. You're absolutely right. Her arm, her hand could have bled because of that's what's in the word breakable. Look, anything. I talked about my dad earlier. My dad had a pacemaker. He was on all those same medications. He was on blood thinners. He was in his 80s, and his skin tore like paper, and he would bleed forever. You know what I mean? Like a little nick on his forearm would bleed like a head wound. Imagine that says they get a refund. Maybe too soon, but that's a really funny thing to say. Maybe it's my dark humor. Thank you, Patch. I appreciate you. You look great in green. Why did the start to the timeline change? Yeah, first couple of days they included church, and an hour before they went to the police. And then 911 dispatch mentioned hours. Absolutely a fact. Why? It's a great question, right? Because we've been bullshitted a lot on this. This is what I talked about in the last time I was live. Originally, they said that when she didn't show up at church, and that's how they said it. Hello, Gail. When they said she didn't show up at church, they contacted the family. The family arrived at 11. This is the original report. Family arrived at 11. They looked for her. They did everything you were going to do to figure out that no one's there, right? Can't find mom, called everybody. Hey, have you seen her? All of that stuff. And about an hour later, they called 911. Now they put up the FBI timeline, and that isn't at all how it went down. First of all, she doesn't go to church, although they haven't churched that up yet. But she doesn't go to church. She stopped going to church during the COVID crisis. Can't say COVID either. During the COVID crisis.
Say pandemic.
Plandemic.
They love that.
Okay, that's a good one. Where do you think they're going to drop off mom without getting caught? I'm wondering about this. Well, I've thought about that as well, right? I've thought about that as well. And here's what I did. Just in case you get demonetized again, thank you. It is what they do. You know what? Honestly, I do this to hang out with you guys, and everybody takes care of me. It works out beautifully. If it were me, right? If it were me, she's 84 years old, right? If you're actually kidnapping somebody, right? You can drop that kid off, right? Drop them off at a park, drop them off all kinds of places. At that age, you're not going to do that. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of places, bus stations. I'm not being funny, right? I would drop them off about 300 yards down from a bus station. Yeah, Greyhound station, anywhere like that, because there's going to be a crap load of phones. There's going to be cops, right? And it would give them, I mean, you don't need much of a jump. Scamdemic, I like that. Ava Marie, you also look fantastic in green. Look at that. Everybody's turning green. Has son-in-law gotten a lawyer? To the best of my knowledge, thank you again. To the best of my knowledge, he has not lawyered up. We haven't heard anything about that. His wife was in the video that was just filmed. Bought myself some shit boots today because it's going to get deep. I don't think she's alive. I'm not laughing at the alive part, but the shit boots, that was a big one when I was in high school too. Roll up your pants. It's getting deep. Who do you think did this? Burglary family? Yeah, not to beat a dead horse, right?
Beat that horse.
But I don't think it's a home invasion. I don't think it's a burglary gone wrong. They didn't steal anything. If you go in for a burglary, you accidentally kill someone, you're still going to steal some shit, right? Or it's a complete bust. They didn't steal anything, so I don't think it's a burglary. The mom is gone. Why Savannah said, I understand, because they explained to her what happened. Now Savannah wants the body back and is willing to pay to celebrate her life and have peace. That's a hard argument to argue with, man, honestly. And I think you pretty succinctly and articulately put that, my man. But she can't walk far. No, she cannot. There's been so much bullshit. We were told that there was no forced entry. Then we were told there was a forced entry. Now they're telling us that they won't tell us. Who dropped her off after she went to her daughter's to play mahjong, right, and eat? She was there about 3 hours or whatever. She got dropped off at 9:48 right in front of the garage. Garage door opens. 2 minutes later, it closes. Who dropped her off? Because originally Barney Fife over at the sheriff's department there in Pima County, originally Barney Fife said she was dropped off by the daughter. He then said she was dropped off by the son. And I heard someone today, although I never heard it, but I think it was Ashley Banfield said she heard it 3 ways. She also heard that the two of them dropped it off. Now they just say family. It's messed up. Yeah. Well, look, Brian Koberger. Again, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but the Brian Koberger case. The day that they arrested Brian Koberger, they did a press conference and said, we don't have any leads. We don't have any people of interest. For all intent and purpose, we're lost. But they were working their ass off. Everybody in this country, even the people that are into true crime, we all tend to think that, like someone said in my last live stream, these things should be finished in 3 hours because we watch Law and Crime, right? We watch Crime Network. We watch something where they take an entire case of cops that work on the shit for like 9 months and they crush it in 30 minutes, JCS style, right? And we get to watch the interrogations and everything happens in real time. That's not how it goes down, man, at all. I mean, there are 200 license plate readers and red light cameras in Tucson. They're going to be looking at every one of them. Why the hell would they care about giving the body back when they didn't care about taking? Honest to God, I just don't see. I always look at this from the criminal side, right? Just being logical and doing it like I spent a lot of time breaking the law. If I was stuck in this shit show, because I would never have kidnapped somebody, but if I was stuck in this show right now, I'd be looking for a boat to another part of the world. If I had a dead 84-year-old woman on my hands, I am disappearing quicker than you can say Jimmy crack corn, and I don't give a rat's backside, right? They're going to hunt you down. You're no longer a kidnapper. You're a murderer, right? You're a murderer. That's a completely different deal. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that, am I? Yeah, okay. Anyone notice the body language between the family? Savannah and her brother did a separate video. It's odd, isn't it, though?
Right?
Isn't it, though? Right? I have said from Jump Street, they did. Savannah did a video with the brother and sister. The brother did a video alone, but even the one with Annie where she spoke, Watch her blink rate. Watch her blink rate. It is hard to believe. It's literally hard to believe just how unreal her blink rate is. Now, what does that mean? I suppose it could mean a lot of shit. I don't run the behavior panel, but I don't think it's a great thing. I don't think it's ever a good thing. Hey, I'm live at the moment, my man. It's never a good thing, right? If you start blinking that fast, you're either uncomfortable, you're lying, whatever it is, it's not good. This, my man, is a little different. Yeah, they are still investigating cold cases. That doesn't mean every cold case out there is being investigated. What ends up happening with a lot of them, and it's tragic, right? If you're into true crime, then you can probably think of 4 or 5 stories off of the top of your head of people that all they needed to do was retest DNA, and this rapist has been walking around for 30 years, or a serial killer has been walking around and they got his DNA sitting in there. They just never ran him through CODIS because when he got busted in 1992, DNA technology was really different than it is now. And they had a patch this big, and they said, yeah, can only test it once. We're not ready to do that just yet. And it sits in a file. But they do have people that go in and just handle those kind of cases. And there are a lot of them every single year that get solved. Yeah, if something new comes up, or if the parents are pricks of misery, right? If the some of the greatest stories of people that got caught, there's that great girl that was kidnapped in Texas, and the guy slit her throat, raped her and slit her throat, and left her for dead. And she learned to speak again. And when she did, she said, let me tell you what was in his car. He was dressed this way. She described this fool to a T. What kind of cigarettes he had in the car, the beers that he had empty in the back. Like, she did not stop fighting to get this man until they got him. And then she showed up and he ended up killing himself. Took himself out, that chicken shit.
She was great, though.
She was amazing. She's a hero. When you believe there's a kidnapping, why would you make a plea for safe return ASAP? Seems like Savannah and her family waited a bit. You know what, Lisa? They did. But the standard operating procedure has always been, I will prove to you that I have your relative and you will pay me, right? I'll prove to you that I'm not kicking the crap out of your relative, that they're well taken care of, and you're going to pay me. Now, keeping in mind, most of the time when people are kidnapped, it's not senior citizen or octogenarian, right? Napped. It's kidnapped. So that proof of life to say, I'm taking care of your kid, I'm doing this, right? This is a slightly different situation. But to the best of our knowledge, now they may have BS'd. But yeah, imagine that says they followed law enforcement advice. I would imagine that they did. My dad had a pacemaker heart condition and took lots of meds, including blood thinners. He decided to fix something one day with a hammer. He hit his thumb and the whole basement looked like a murder scene. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly the way it is, right? Seriously, it's the way it is. She was granny napped. Well played, Jeff. Well played. Granny napped. But look, we know, right? We know for a fact. We're not making any of this up or theorizing. There are jackasses out here like this guy with the diaper pin in his ear, right? And that Spanky leopard skin coat or whatever he's wearing. I'm not mad at him. I dig leopard skin. But I mean, the faux stuff. I'm a cat freak. But there are people out here like this fake Wolverine cat that will do everything they can to get someone to pay him for somebody they didn't kidnap. How do you know you're paying the person that kidnapped your family? Especially when there's multiple people taking a shot at you. That guy cut his hair with a lawnmower. Or he was a really big fan of the flock of seagulls.
Well played.
Like that?
Yeah.
If she had a heart attack at the house, her Apple Watch would have recorded that. I tend to agree with you, right? I tend to agree with you. Inspector likes the hearing. If she had a heart attack, it would have recorded that. When she separated from that, her heart was beating, right? So I don't think she was dead at the scene. Silver alert, missing senior citizens. Wow. Wow. Instead of an amber alert. Oh my God. That's just not right. That's not right. Here's the thing, sensational cinema. She didn't have to wear it. Didn't have to wear it. The way that this works is, so your phone connects to towers, right? And there's 3 of them. You get triangulated. You've always heard this shit. It has to ping off of 3 towers and then go up into space or whatever it does. the pacemaker doesn't have enough juice to ping off the towers, but it has enough juice to ping off of anything that's within about 40 feet away. And you have to sync it up just like you would your iPods, your AirPods, whatever the hell they call them. Silver alert is a thing? You're shitting me. You're making that up. Wow. You commented today. I'm sorry. Look at that. Flock of seagulls in Iran. That's the missing clue. I ran so far away. That creep looks like an informant on Miami Vice. God help us. That's a great comment. Just a theory. When they broke through the back door, did she hear an alert on her phone and the door cam being removed? An old lady, phone volume up. Did she try to get to the front door? We don't know that there was any forced entry because they backpedaled on that. So now we don't know. She may have gone to the, yeah, look at that. Lisa Palmer says silver alert is a real thing for old folks missing. Oh, I'm going to catch some hell for that one. I was laughing my ass off at it. I was thinking that at the part where she was alive, they could have had medications with her, or they could have just jumped across the Mexican border. They didn't have to go with her. They could have just gone across the Mexican border and got her whatever she needed. If they were planning in advance, they could have bought the stuff. Leaving the medication behind would create a sense of fear, right? Did she wear hearing aids? Not that I could see in any photos. She couldn't yell to Alexa to call for help. Well, here's the thing. Alexa needs a subscription. From what we understand, they didn't pay those. I'm sorry, I don't buy that. But I think this is my opinion.
It wasn't a money thing. It was a technology age thing.
Yeah. My theory on this is that it was somebody that she knew. Right? They knew where the cameras were. They knew everything about that property. Again, if you're not from Arizona, right? If you live in Tucson, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. But if you haven't lived in Arizona, it's not like being in a neighborhood. If you want to walk from your land to somebody else's land, you're going to leave your backyard and have 400 yards of your property before you get to somebody else's property and then their backyard, which is going to sit in the middle. They put land around the houses for wild animals to go on. It is a dangerous place to walk. Every single thing that you walk by can cut you, right? Everything in Tucson will either make you itch or cut you. Lisa Smith says it's an inside job. I kind of believe that it was. If those meds kept her alive, and I'm pretty sure they did, and it seems like they were honest kidnappers, if that's a thing, it seems that they would have taken the medication. I agree with that. However, I find it very distressing that they kept going on one recording after another and saying, we need proof of life. You got to prove to me that you've got my mother. That's frightening to me, right? Proof of life is usually considered de rigueur. You're going to do this. You have to do this. It's how you get paid. You're trading someone's life for money. How do I know you can deliver that? Because I'm going to show you that the person's not dead. This from the very first kidnapping on. They would say, hey, have you seen your brother's gone? Yeah, obviously. You want him back? Yeah. Send me the money. How the hell do I know you didn't kill him? Right? Take a picture of the newspaper with the date on it. Right? That's how they used to do it. Now we got technology and whatever. 100% they knew her or was orchestrated by someone who knew her. Yeah, I agree, man. I bet she's near Tucson or Phoenix. If she's alive, I would imagine that you're probably pretty close. I think it would be more dangerous. Again, just thinking as a criminal, I'd be more freaked out about driving around with a woman that old. There's a whole hell of a lot of shit you got to deal with that too. You're pulling over constantly, having to go to the restroom, right? Or you just let a woman soil herself in the back, which would be a nightmare. Every part of this is why you don't kidnap 84-year-olds. For the love of God. This is the dumbest shit in the whole world. But again, people, it makes no sense to me. And this is why, this is an opinion. I got nothing to back this up but intuition. This is why I thought the brother-in-law was the cat, right? I mean, if you're going to kidnap Ma and she dies in the process, you might be in the will anyway, right? I mean, honestly, it's a cold-hearted shit to say, but they've been the people taking care of her. You know, Savannah loves mom. She's not there when mom needs something picked up or set down or something. It's that son-in-law running up there to do it. I've been that cat. It's hard work. New Brighton Paulie. Yeah, I like it. Getting away with the kidnapping of this magnitude is almost impossible. I bet dollar to donuts these guys will be in custody in a few weeks. I don't doubt that for a second. If these kidnappers are real, they're getting ready to do time. And they're going to be lucky as shit if they do time for kidnapping. Because time for kidnapping will get you 360 months in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Seriously, 360 months. That's without much of a criminal record. If you got a criminal record, you're probably going to do a lot, right? 35 years, 45 years, somewhere in there. But you got a shot, right? There, you can at least be filing, because if this is murder, they're never getting out. And that's special circumstances. You killed them in the commission of a felony, right? Multiple. You can get the death penalty for that. If it's an inside job, they should know that they have to keep her alive. Yeah, they know her, and they don't know she needs meds. Well, we don't know. Look, we just know that they said that her meds, all of the ones that she normally has on her in the house, were sitting there, right? The French phrase de rigueur means required, mandatory. You made me look that up. You know what? It's the greatest way to learn, isn't it? Trump claimed they were very close to a solution, and I wonder what he meant by that. I think he's an asshat, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. If you're a Trump person, I'm not saying that I'm not whatever. He says things sometimes without thinking. I think it's his defining characteristic. I'm not saying he made it up. I'm saying he shouldn't have said it. You got everybody down here going, we ain't got a clue, and you got the president going, oh, they're onto some shit. Happened in the last couple hours. That's not great. Maybe they used four-wheelers or dune buggies that wouldn't need a road. Interesting. And you know what?
She would make it. They'd kill her.
You're right. Johnny makes a good point. She would die on that trip. It would be hard taking Granny through the arroyos and the. Yeah, that would be really rugged. But you could absolutely use a four-wheeler to get from place to place back there. But I don't think you could take Granny on it. And the dune buggy probably be a little bit big. People take four-runners back there, though. Four-wheelers. You're putting an 84-year-old woman on a dune buggy? It sounded good until Johnny said that. It's true. Trump does he wants the world to know that he's in control or command of everything. It's kind of an ego thing, I think.
No.
I'm not saying the dude's a narcissist, but I'm not saying he's not. Moist Gizzard, late here. What's the topic? The topic is this, Moist Gizzard. The Guthries, Savannah and her brother and sister, have made another video. In this one, and I'll read it to you if you guys just got here. And while I'm doing that, you can smack that like button, maybe hit subscribe, because I'm a YouTuber. Need that stuff. Savannah Guthrie said, she was the one reading, we received your message and we understand. We beg you to now return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us and we will pay. Catch that? I'm going to read it one more time. There's been some very interesting theories and thoughts by the people here. A wicked smart audience, man. I'm not just pandering. Well, I am. But you really are a fairly intelligent with bungee straps, imagine that says. Brian Enton has done coverage with Guy, and it shows you the backyard, what it's like there. It's ugly. If you had to walk there at 2 o'clock in the morning, you better have been there before. You do not want to walk through the desert in Tucson at 2 o'clock in the morning. It will shred you. Every tree can cut you. I'm not joking, right? Every single thing's got a thorn, a pricker, or something that's just going to make you itch for 2 days. Cape Cod. Don't move. It's always funny when I say that, like they got any control over it. Oh, crap. Hold 1 second, people. Every once in a while, someone says something that I want to look up later. Appreciate you. I like to just take candid pictures of the audience. Brian Enton does a great job. Tucson is a very unusual place. What does her will say? Are any relatives broke? Maybe Savannah was over helping out Moochie family members. I'm just wondering, it's rare these crimes are committed by random people. Allegedly, if you got the allegedly over under count at 9, I think you're in danger. Allegedly, there have been some friction over property and over other arguments having to do with the daughter and son-in-law and grandma. Now, I can't verify that shit, but it's been reported in a bunch of places. I don't mean to be an a-hole, but I'm almost certain this is going to turn into a homicide investigation. Hopefully I'm wrong. I feel the exact same way, right? I don't. Tommy, please do a show on Hidden Hand. Very interesting topic. I feel like you could dig in and research. Interesting. I may do that. Hidden Hand, yes, says...
Australia's Tucson is the Australia of the United States.
Johnny Scoville says Tucson and most of Arizona is like the Australia of the United States. It's just ugly. You can honestly, the trees can cut you. The cactuses can cut you. There are cactuses on the ground that don't grow up that if you step on, you're in absolute hell. If they pay the ransom and Nancy is returned alive and well, does she have to pay Savannah back for the ransom? This is my humble opinion, and you can agree to disagree if you think I'm wrong. But my theory is this. If they pay this ransom, they're going to get back Mom if she's alive, and then they're going to get the people they paid it to. I'm telling you, it's not as easy to just grab Bitcoin and run. Sam Bankman-Fried is absolutely the test case. I promise you, Sam Bankman-Fried, the crypto king, knew more about Bitcoin than these people that are trying to pull this off. Yep. And he didn't cover his tracks. Yeah, Jeff says, don't forget the rattlesnakes and scorpions. No shit. And javelinas. You guys want me to do one on skinwalkers, huh? Skinwalker Ranch. She just did a homecoming feature. She did on the local news and Today's show in November. Someone was plotting from that time. Snitch, it's logical. But again, if there is no forced entry, and we don't know, right? Where are they going to drop a dead body off? It's just, Robert, I'm with you on this. Again, why the hell would a criminal call and admit to murder? I mean, just disappear at that point. Well, I could probably cash the dead body in for $1 million. That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe Savannah has kidnappers insurance. Many high net folks do. Yeah, her number was also available to anybody that wanted to look it up on the internet. I don't think she's, I'm not being disrespectful, but the kind of people that have that kind of insurance have unlisted numbers and are freaked out by people. And I don't think she is, unfortunately, man. And the ground isn't like sand. It's caliche, hard as concrete. Inspector's been there. It is like caliche, like that caliche mud, that red stuff. It is hard as stone. Try digging in the ground in Tucson. I'm scared this is going to, yep, I hit that. I think it's going to turn into a homicide investigation, which is a bummer. Yeah. This is it. Communicating with the family and trying to collect the ransom is going to be what gets these guys caught by the FBI. I realize that a lot of people think this could be somebody other than family, but I wholeheartedly believe that the people that went there at 2:00 in the morning, it's a really odd time to go to somebody's door and startle them and not think they're going to call 911. Before you can get in that door and get at them, you don't think they're going to call 911, right? Your phone is right here by your bedstand. That woman just had to roll over and hit a panic button on her phone. And whether it connects or not, they're still coming, right? Whether or not you can tell them what's happening. You dial 911, they're showing up at your address. She couldn't get a call off before they broke through the door. I don't buy that shit. I think she had to have gone to the door to let somebody in that knew what was up. Cape Cod says Shawshank Redemption got the cash and fled to Mexico. Can you tell me the name of the town? Somebody impress me. Shit, it's on the tip of my tongue. Sometimes people will not call the cops when they should and have the opportunity because they're afraid to make any noise or any sounds. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Pay attention right now. I don't care how old you are. You don't have to say anything to the 911 operator. If you're afraid that the person's going to hear you, hit 911 and shove it in your pocket. You don't have to talk to them. Renee B thinks it was a caregiver or a housekeeper. Nogales? No, that's a... what was the name? Okay, baby doll. You probably, see, here's the thing. My wife has this kind of memory. Do you remember the name of the town they ran to in Shawshank Redemption? If anyone's going to get it, it probably would be Reese. She's got a mind like a steel trap. Yeah, Lisa Palmer says she definitely knew the person or people. I got to believe that. Hey, that means my wife is no longer alive. It really bummed me out. Well, there's a shocker. Her stream is always hilarious. Buxton was the name of the town where he hid the lunchbox that had the money in it. In fact, you're going to find a field. You're going to find a field there. I'm sorry, what? Your name is Reese, isn't it? Yes, who said it? Yeah. Heather, whatever, got it. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Buxton is where he had to go find that brick wall and find one stone that had no right being there. I disagree. I think the back door was forced open like cops originally said. 2 floodlights out by the door. It's a hell of a risk, man. It's a hell of a risk. By the way, have you ever forced a door open? Not being disrespectful, but I have forced open a shitload of them. And sometimes you go and get there and you put the pry bar in that thing and you lean on it and it doesn't go. And then it could take you 40 seconds of kicking the crap out of that thing. Then sometimes they're really easy and Johnny kicks them down at high noon. First shot. Andy Dufresne was my friend. Tara Michaels, well played. So if she knew them, why the hell would they let her? So if she knew them and knows them, why the hell would they let her go? Look, I would not bet the farm that they're going to let her go. I'm sorry, I wouldn't. A lot of people got Zihuatanejo, a coastal town in Mexico's. Look at this. Next level is the fictional place where Andy Dufresne and Red reunite. Yeah, he's working on a boat. Hello, Miss Wendy, Texas in the house. Glad that you're here. Jeff, it was an old house. The question becomes, like, my house in Tucson was built in 74, right? And it was a bunker.
Yeah.
It was a bunker. I'm telling you, if there was a house to get into would have been a bitch, it was the one I lived in the Catalina foothills. Most of those homes are concrete, right? They build those things pretty rugged. Barbara Waite, that's a big guy, though. Yeah, the ground is hard, but what about the washes? Soft and sandy? Yes. No, the washes most assuredly are, because it's bringing all that crap down and depositing it. A Tucson native. I love it. Cop told a story, LAPD, who tried to kick a door down before SWAT, and his shoe fell down in the hollow door. Oh, they do make hollow doors. Some of them are really funny. A guy in college I knew kicked his foot through one and got hung up in the middle of a fight by his foot. And the guy that was fighting him beat him like a drum because he couldn't fight back. Of course, if it had been me, I would have given the guy a sporting chance. I can't back that up. It was me. I believe that she was taken as a distraction because she discovered something going on. It backfired on them. Everything got searched through. They didn't bring. No, I mean, look, they're going to bring.
No one does a robbery. It says, "Oh, we didn't get it. Let's take the old lady."
ICAC is that those are the best people on planet Earth for tracking down anything that happens on a phone. So if somebody's missing, or even a bank robbery or anything like that, and they think they got an idea, like with family, you can just start looking at cell phones and you're going to look at everybody that was connected to her from her phone. But what they're doing is they're using the internet to track these people. And that's how most people get caught these days. The Internet of Things, right? Everything connects to the internet. Somebody left a question earlier and said, has anyone ever faked their own kidnapping? Sherry Papini comes to mind. You remember her? I still think Nanos let the cat out of the bag.
Rational woman.
Say it again.
Perfectly rational woman.
Yeah, no, she's perfectly rational, right? A lot of people do that. Heather, whatever says, Relatable Reese, I'm pretty sure I subbed, but I didn't get back to your channel yet. I like it. I like it. Reese, you should put your link in there. Nanos is, I have dubbed him Barney Fife, and I know people are going to give me shit about that. I don't care. This guy's a clown, right? He may be a nice guy. I'm sure he's a great grandfather, right? He really is probably a good dude. What's that?
I love an underdog.
Yeah, I'm absolutely rooting for the guy, but he is out of his element. I'm telling you got to see the clip today of he goes to start talking to the reporter, and he's giving him mad props to the FBI. He's like, no, they come in here, and we kind of hand it over to them. We put a lot of faith in them, and the FBI guy puts his hand on his chest and goes, we're done. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's not self-promoting. I promoted you. But look at her. Yeah, she bet me I wouldn't put that picture up. Is that why they're taking Nancy's car to track travels? It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I like Frank Drebin better. I did too, but a lot of people didn't get the reference. I happen to believe this. I will always believe this. Maybe I'll do a show on this. The Lindbergh kidnapping is fascinating. When this one ends, hopefully beautifully with her at home eating granola, then we will go with, I will tell you the story of the Lindbergh. I have read mad books on it. It's something I'm fascinated in. Drebin, Frank Drebin from the Police Squad in color. Remember?
They do.
It's like Naked Gun movies, right? Leslie Nielsen played Frank Drebin. Kind of an idiot. And if you look at him, this guy kind of looks like Frank Drebin.
Totally.
You know, when I first said it, he kind of looks like it. I was thinking about the Lindbergh kidnapping when someone asked about, can you kidnap yourself? Yeah, I mean, he kidnapped his own kid. By all accounts, he did this because the kid wasn't perfect, right? He may have whacked the kid because he was a perfectionist, but we'll get into it. I don't want to give too much. The eugenics component is fascinating and horrifying at the same time. He was all about perfection. The people that are into eugenics scare the shit out of me, right? From the people that brought you the Nazis. Okay, yeah. My mom took me to see the Naked Gun in theater when I was like 12. So tell me this jackwagon doesn't look like Frank Drebin. Nice beaver. Thank you. I just had it stuffed. It's such a great movie. That and Airplane. He's in that one too. Pardon me, I speak jive. Say a stone cold like a bootiac. Lay him down or smack him flack him. Yeah, Frank Drebin was great, but it's sad to watch a guy this much out of his element. Let's go over what, I'm sorry, I digress, but let's go over what he's actually screwed up since this started. He has told us unequivocally she went to church, or, you know, she was a regular attendee of church. When she didn't show up at church, people contacted her family. That's bullshit. We know it is, right? Everybody that knows this woman said she has not gone to church since the epidemic. Yes, I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. Priscilla Presley is in the Naked Gun. So he told us that the church called the family. That's bullshit. We know that didn't happen, right? But they're still saying it. And then they told us that the timeline had them looking for mom for an hour. And at the time, the first time we went live and talked about this, I said, hey, you know what, man? That doesn't make sense, especially with blood on the friggin' front porch, right? You walk up and there's blood there. I'm not even going in the house. How do I know that there isn't something horrific in there that I don't want to walk through? I'm sorry, but I would call 911 before I did anything. I can do a stream on that, Renee B. A fascinating case. Leopold and Loeb. A fascinating case. What if the point of ransom is to hurt Savannah? Transferring Bitcoin to an address means she loses the money even if no one ever retrieves it. I mean, that could be the case, right? Because allegedly, what? Well, yeah, those trolls can be a bitch. Allegedly, they knew stuff about the night in question that nobody could know unless they were there. Ransom, Mel Gibson, give me back my son. Mel Gibson in that said, I'm not paying you the money. You're not going to get $1 of it. I'm going to give that money to the people that hunt you down and kill you. Like he was not farting around. He's like, I am putting this as a bounty on your head for what you did. It's a great film. It's probably not something you could do. It's an odd thing. He sounds like he was on the verge of tears every time he's talking. And I love that. I love that the guy's invested in this. He's just out of his element. For the love of God, how many police departments in the U.S. do you think deal with kidnapping on the regular? Like that guy probably's got a real handle on dope coming up, right?
It's a sleepy retirement time.
If I disappear, you better pay her. Quibs, I have a stash account just in case. Save, seek, and find for over 65. They no longer say silver alert. But I was just saying before you got here, babe, that if they run off with me, it's a diminishing return on your investment, right? I'm already an old man. If they ask for money and it's more than like $600, you got to go, I'll give you $450. Can we work this out? I could use $350. Oh, no, I of course I would retrieve the body even if you were dead. Right? No, I got tons of pictures of you. I even have some videos. You see that? I already have that. And you don't even look bad or dead. I'll stick with that. No, honestly, paying to get back a dead body to me is one of the stupidest concepts in history. I know there are people that are really into this, you know, and and there are certain religions where that body is absolutely innocent.
Arrowhead collection.
What's that?
Quib says $450 at my Arrowhead collection.
You're going to come off the Arrowhead collection? Damn, I'm impressed.
Right?
This is why you got to get over there. She's faster on her feet than anybody alive. My wife is a funny woman. Snitch out. You look fantastic in green. And I love the name. I was on a snitch hunt for years. Found them everywhere where I lived. If comedy takes my charming husband, if somebody takes my charming husband, wow, that's moving quick. If somebody takes my charming husband, it'll be like the story of the ransom of the Red Chief. They'll have to pay me to take him back. You know what? I'm surprised Quibbs didn't say something along those lines. Who in hell would take me? For real. I'm not the kind of guy you kidnap. Yeah, in some religions, you have to actually have the body to enter heaven or whatever. With all due respect, if the God that I'm praying to can't reassemble me out of an ash can or wherever else I am, I probably need a different God. If someone took my daughter, I'd move to heaven and earth to get her back. If I were taken, well, I've lived a good life and I know where I'm going. See, that's the way I look at it too. Yeah, it was a hell of a run. And I'll tell you something. You guys may not believe this because I'm sure every guy says this, but I'd go out like a Viking, man. I'd fight. They would have to kill me before they got out of the bedroom. Look, I did. Most people know this, but I spent a decent amount of time in prison. And if you, the first fear of prison is what? You're going to get raped, right? Because every movie you see about prison, you're either getting stabbed or raped, right? You're either getting stuck with a meat shank or a shank nonstop, if you believe prison movies. So everybody goes in with that kind of chip on their shoulder going, God, I'm kind of worried about that. You know what I mean? And I think every guy kind of makes up their mind that, yeah, you could do that to me. I'll be dead, right? But you can do that to me. And that's kind of how I look at a kidnapping or anything else. Not me. You better turn into Liam Neeson and come get me. I have a particular set of skills. How much prison time will a guy who sent the fake ransom get? Well, it carries a grip. He could get 15 for that. And you may be thinking 15 is nothing. 15 is a shitload of time in the federals.
He paid bail. He's out.
Yeah, I'm shocked that they gave him bail.
Right?
That dirty bastard got bail and the feds never gave me bail once, man. I owned a home. They didn't give me bail. That's just wrong on every level, man. I'm not that bad, dude. Shut up, Reese. I had to preempt that because she was going to say something about me being a crim. I'm a Christian. I'd want my mom to keep the body. It's like being traumatized twice. You know what? I understand that for some people. I remember my father saying to me, when we were talking about getting ready for it, and I said, what do you want done with yourself? He's like, I want to be burned. He's like, cremated. I said, for real? He goes, yeah, unless you could just toss me on the side of the road. My dad was like, it's just an empty bottle at that point. But everybody views this a little bit differently. You know what I mean? He got bail because he's in California. You know what? I hate to sound like a political cat, but man, that's the truth. Robert and I say, I still say, look in the family, AKA son-in-law and sister. You know what? Here's the deal, man. You give me $500,000, which where I live right now, I could live off for the rest of my life, unless, of course, I had to buy my wife out of kidnapping. You better acquire a particular set of skills real quick. You better change that. I got skills, woman. Skills I got. My dad was like that. Just throw me in the ocean. Well, that used to be done a lot. But 500 grand would buy me the rest of my life, right? Unless I had to pay for Reese. But truthfully, I'd bet that 500 grand that this was done by somebody that knows the family, if not the family. Again, maybe Barney Fife, Frank Drebin was honest when he said that there was forced entry in the back. That could be. It never rains in sunny California. Reese says, I'm more skilled.
Already.
I'm kidding. No, but seriously, she's got skills. I always say if someone stole my identity, they're going to find themselves in a shit ton of trouble or a shit ton of debt. No, you want to steal my identity? I'll give you my social. Just leave your name in the chat. I'll give you my social. I love it when you say for the love of God. You know what? I'm almost always saying that about this woman I know. Kind of interesting thought. Is there a reason not to look at the bro himself, not Annie's husband? Yeah. Here would be the thought. The brother lives in Vermont, right? He had to come down there for the family, but he allegedly lives in the Green Mountain State where he flew F-16s. It's a little bit more out of character for a hero from the military than it is from this guy that she met in Italy who allegedly had a criminal record in Italy. And look, I'm not saying just because you have a criminal record, you're a scumbag, right? I obviously would like a second chance as much as the next guy. And Vermont, yeah, that makes sense. Try to keep the gloves up. I always do. I'm nothing if not respectful. Is this the best time you've had on YouTube since you've moved to Ecuador? Oh yeah, no, I'm having a really good time. It happened after I got married. I lightened up about a lot of stuff. This is the son-in-law. That is Annie's husband. His name is Tommaso. He is a good-looking dude. He's Italian.
The Italian band.
And the Italian band. He's got that beard. That beard has a thread count you would not believe. And I'm not saying that he's guilty because he's got a dark beard. I'm saying he's creepy because he's got a dark beard. He's guilty because he just steams that way. I'm sorry, it does. They got the dog searching Guthrie house, say ransom paid, looking for possible body. Oh, Lord. He reminds me of Stephen Stearns. Ouch! A Sharpie beard. Oh, Wes Watson has a Sharpie beard. It's not retired lieutenant colonel behavior. You're right. That's a great way to say it. That is a great way to say it. It is not retired lieutenant colonel behavior. What kind of criminal record has been very vague? They don't really get off on it. The word is they have paid the kidnappers. Multiple sheriff vehicles at the scene right now this late. Yeah, they were there last night this late too. Surviving the Survivor has live footage. Oh man, don't advertise for my friends when I'm live. That's all right. I love the people at Surviving the Survivor. Yeah, right. Stephen Stearns, just saying it sends a chill down your spine. Have you ever? I don't want to look. You know why I've done the Stephen Stearns show before, but I've never done an incredibly deep dive on Stephen Stearns, because if you have to start to talk about the things that he said, the things that you find in those videos, I did a deep dive on all that. Hey, Cheryl Niles, good to see you. It'll literally make you throw up in your mouth. Like, this guy was an absolute scumbag. I won't leave you hanging, because now you're going, what kind of stuff? Sexual, foul-ass stuff that he said to a girl that was not yet, a teenager. Stefan has a special place in hell. Yeah, just too much is off for it not to be family, right? And here's the thing. You look at the totality of it. We all watched the first video. Many of you probably didn't catch the one that they just did saying they would pay. But everybody saw the first video. Out of the three people there, did any of the three look a little guilty to you? Did anybody have a blink rate of like 25,000 blinks a minute? Like the sister looked different. She sounded different. Everything about it was just weird. I thought that Savannah, and again, I know people are going to just shit on me in the comments. There is no playbook for how you're supposed to act when you're in that kind of a situation. Nevertheless, she didn't act right in my opinion, right? I thought that Savannah Guthrie looked very much like I would anticipate my sister would have looked. I don't know what the hell was going on with her sister. See, every once in a while, you need somebody to weigh in on this that's going to be a nicer person and just be more even-handed. And Miss Wendy says, this is a very sad situation from every angle, but that Italian guy's creepy. I'm with you. And here's the thing. They keep showing a band picture. You have dry eyes? Well, that could be it. SinStar. I'm going to the party, but I will be having this play in the background. Nice. Probably the whole time. Love you all on the boat. Sin. This is my friend Will. You should go by and click on Will. Hit a subscribe. Will talks about sobriety. He is also an ex-convict who is turning his life around, and he is engaged to be married. I'm super, super happy for him. Just got a full-time job. Working on a career, man. Couldn't be more proud of Will. He's one of the guys that I worked with one-on-one. Dogs don't always find the body. Depends on what it's in. True. But I'll tell you something. I have had some experience with those dogs Years ago, I worked at Snowbird Mountain Resort, and I worked as a ski patrol. And we had dogs that would sniff out people. And I'm telling you, man, we would bury them in the snow. Like we would do a thing once a year where they would have a competition for these, and you could bury people in the snow. And the dog doesn't just find you; it goes right to you. It's the craziest shit you ever saw.
With a barrel around his neck.
Yeah, with a barrel around his neck that usually has like amaretto. Even my wife would like amaretto. Mr. Creepy Sicilian and Miss High Blink Rate. Bingo. I'm sorry. I think they did it. And there's been all kinds of action around their house. Take all these things in concert. Their car was towed before anybody else's was. They had to get a warrant to tow that car. You don't walk in and say to the judge, could have been him. They don't give out warrants like that. The United States protects you even if you've done something wrong, right? There's no illegal search and seizure. You have to go in there and according to the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, they have to say, this is the reason, Your Honor, that I think there's probably going to be evidence in this car. We don't know what that is because they sealed it. You look at this and you keep looking at it and it points to him. Now, do I think he's sitting with his mother-in-law? Of course not, right? I would imagine it's some guys in balaclavas, but I think we're going to find out that he had a hand in this.
He's growing a balaclava. He's only halfway through.
I'm sorry, Johnny Scoville said he's growing a balaclava. He's halfway there. Mr. Taliban Italiano. Since Nancy is not a child missing in Tennessee, they may actually find her. Snap. That is nasty. That is nasty. That is right, though. They don't do fantastic there. And just in case you think I'm a dick, because I'm not a dick, but let's get a look at that beard. Tell me he's not halfway to a balaclava. Good God. It's like 45,000 hairs per square inch. You can't get sheets with a thread count that high. Not even expensive ones. That is. Now my girlfriend's going to pop on, my wife, and say, I don't know, I kind of find him handsome. Every time there's some dude that's just sort of jacked up, I mean, look at me. Right? She hangs out with me. I got that lazy drooping eye thing going. I got all kinds of stuff. Wow. And that is the things you say. The things that you say. His beard kind of looks like a 1980s Bush. Okay. That is my girl. In case you're wondering the kind of stuff she does over there on her channel. All those cars out there, did they check the cars parked by the house? It will not surprise me if she is right by the house in a car. Well, look, remember when they got the second correspondence, the one that was sent to KOLD? They went hauling ass up there with an entire crew of people. They blocked off the entire street. Now, granted, maybe they don't want us looking over their shoulder and broadcasting it to the kidnappers, but they brought an evidence collection team out there that night, which, by the way, nice job, Barney Fife. Way to let people traipse through your crime scene. Not once, not twice.
Thrice.
3 times an idiot. Reese is drawn to bad boys and sea lions. Bad boys and, well, yeah, I'll just leave it at sea lions. My girl's funny as hell, man. It's funny as hell. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being drawn to bad boys. You just got to, make sure you get a good one. It's like going down to the pound to get a dog. Don't get a bank robber that used a gun. It's a bad start, man. It's a really, really bad start. So where do we go from here? Here's the bottom line, folks. This is fairly logical. It really is. There's only a couple of options. They're trying to get the body back. Maybe. I just don't see a kidnapper risking saying, oh, we're murderers, not kidnappers, right? Until there's a dead body, you're still alive. You're in the game. What is my wife's channel? If you look up above you, you will see the link there from Kristen Melinda. She put a link to it. Tommy is definitely a breed you will want to research before taking one home. It's true. I peed on one of her rugs. I'm not quite housebroken yet. That rug really tied the room together, Johnny Scoville. There you go. There it is. He looks guilty as fuck. I'm sorry. You know what? And I normally don't curse on here. Well, I do, but I try not to. But he does look guilty as fuck. I mean, there's no way. I'm not trying to be a dick about this. But have you seen him with his band? Because the first time they showed a picture of him and his band, I'm like, well, that's the 3 that did it, right? Look at those friggin' guys. I mean, they look like they should be on the yard going, hey, man, you got a soup? I'll catch you on store day. They honestly look like people I ran into in prison. But if she had died accidentally unaliving in the process of being kidnapped, if they accidentally whacked her, right, in the act, I mean, get the hell out of Dodge, right? Don't get your money, haul ass, because now you're a murderer. Hey, look, I can't deliver your mom, but I can give you her dead body for $2 million. Right? I was going to give you, her alive for 10. I don't buy that. Too funny about the beard. It's ick. BB, what's happening? Glad that you are here. It is kind of funny, and I'm not trying to be a joke. They look like Metallica, and they are bad guys. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Inspector, I didn't say they look like Metallica. You think they look like Metallica? No.
Sad but true. So did it.
Who does that look like from Metallica?
Is it the?
Yeah, it's neck beard.
Yeah, it is.
Day. First time at sea, then you sleep with me, boy. He looks like a pirate from a 1970s gay porn film.
Swashbuckling kind of thing.
God, swashbuckler. I don't mean that negatively. Hey, there's 300 of you in here. If you haven't hit subscribe, you need to do so. Space G's, what's happening? See, that's what I said. I don't think they look like Metallica, right? There's nobody in Metallica with a neck beard.
There's Blitzless. The beard is it.
Yeah, that's Blitzless. The beard is ick. Uh-oh. Shh.
Uh-oh. What happened?
I think she's talking about phone sex again. Can you collect the ransom? Would the money be seized by the FBI proceeds of crime? Absolutely. I mean, you can't get the money. You could get a reward, right? But if the kidnappers do anything in this, they're screwed. If the money gets sent to the kidnappers, they're still going to find them. I promise you, right? I promise you. And for all the people who go, no, you can't track Bitcoin, they sure as shit tracked it with Sam Bankman-Fried. And I promise you, that cat knew more about cryptocurrencies than these people. Favorite time of night, in the middle of the night. Yeah, they bit off more than they can chew. They're way, way over their head. It's my favorite time of night too. And I am coming up on the 1 hour and 30 minute mark. I am going to be up. Looks like my sub rate has gone up a little. Gotta love that, right? It's all that talent. I can't back that up. I am going to be, you can track Bitcoin until they go to the transfer somewhere. That's right. That's right. You're not going to be able to do, they're like, ooh, but once it goes to that wallet, they're going to have to transfer that wallet into some kind of currency. And that's where it starts to get a little difficult. Can they collect the Bitcoin in a country that won't extradite them to America? So if they were in a country that won't extradite, extradition just means that if you get arrested in Ecuador, will Ecuador send you back to the United States for a crime you're wanted for? That's what extradition is, right? America's got priors. Just recently, we went down to a country that would not extradite their president and snatched his ass in the middle of the night with his wife and brought him to New York. I don't think we worry about extradition treaties all that much anymore, man. But they've always done that. For real, they have always done that. We have snuck into many a country and grabbed somebody. Why kidnap an 84-year-old woman now? I find it kind of funny that Savannah was going to Italy to cover the Olympics, and the brother-in-law is from Italy. Like someone was stopping her from going. Interesting. I mean, there is that angle. Who steals an entire president? Well, you got to have a decent-sized ego to pull that off. And look, I'll be honest with you. Look, man, I'll tip my hat to Pimpin on him taking out that president. I'm sorry, but that was great shit. And if that bums you out, I'm sorry. I'm the wrong guy. I don't like the dude, but I love him taking out a nasty-ass drug dealer. I really do. 50% view to like ratio. Hit that button, people. You'll feel good about yourself. It's the truth. If you don't want to hit the thing, I get it. Tickle it a little, right? Get one of these. You got this. You got this. President Trump will level the country if they don't extradite. Yeah, no shit. President Menudo, see? And you say you don't know anything about current affairs. See that? She's catching up. She's catching up. You deserve the increase in subscribers. You give us succinct, well-researched information. Yeah, but I say rape. I say false flag. I say murder.
Menudo is soup.
What's up?
Isn't Menudo a soup?
Menudo is a soup. It's an excellent soup.
Isn't it? Isn't that place you used to go to Menudo?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it looked like you would not want to eat there, but they made the best Menudo, and they brought it in a bowl that kind of looked like it should have punch in it at a party. Like, Those big ass punch bowls. Yeah, I mean, it's cow stomach, but don't get crazy about it. It's amazing. And if you have a hangover, like that, I'm not joking you. Menudo is also a president. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. I'm not up on current affairs. I thought you know that. I thought it was a band. It was a band. It was a band that was managed by the Menendez brothers' father, and he molested one of the boys in the band. Caught him in the bushes with the boys in the band. It was also Ricky Martin's old band. It was a lot of people's old band because when you got a little bit older in Menudo, they kicked your ass out and got somebody new. It was like Friday, you were down there and they were going, hey, he's got some chin hair. The hell rid of him and go get a new kid, preferably 13. We want to ride this one out for 4 or 5 years. The band is way better than the soup. Tara, have you actually had the soup?
I just don't know what's in it. It's delicious.
Yeah. It's if you don't check what's in it, that's all. And it has that wicked big corn in it. What do they call that stuff? Hominy. Hominy. You know what, man? We have a good time. I'm dumb as a brick, but we do have fun. Pasta Ducci on the left-hand side. That was Musical Youth. Holy shit. Who the hell knew that?
Well done.
Did anybody else know that?
I did.
One last push before I go. Yeah, let's get that. Everybody see that? That's the Relatable Reese. Between now and the next time I see you, I'm going to be researching this case. I mean it. I get up in the middle of the night. I don't stop. This is what I do. I go walking in my sleep. So I will be up researching this. With something new breaks, I am going to go live with it. Between now and the next time I see you, put a little love in your heart. Stop by and see the Johnny Scoville. He's growing stuff. And that's my wife. And her link is right up there on the page. And I promise you, if she doesn't make you laugh, you have no sense of humor. I am Tommy. This is True Crime done the crime way. I will catch you on the next one. God bless and good.